Happy Tuesday! It is Self-Care Tuesday with me, Shana. You may be noticing I'm wearing a tiara today. That's because it's my birthday, so that means I get to be queen for the day. But today I'm bringing you the message for self-care: make time. What do I mean by make time? Well, recently you might have had a lot of time during quarantine. Maybe you got a chance to reconnect with some of those things that you love to do, some of your interests and hobbies, or reconnecting with the people that you love without those busy, hectic schedules. Or maybe you're like me and you worked remotely and so you were still pretty busy. Maybe you're an essential worker and you were out doing your regular thing, but there were restrictions on some of the social things you got to do. Whatever it is, wherever place you're at, now that we're looking at reopening the state, reopening and joining those social circles, we may notice that our calendars are starting to get a little bit busy again. And that's normal, that's to be expected. But I want you to take caution and make sure that you are making time still for yourself. So whether you were still very busy, whether now you're like me and I'm like, okay, do you know what? I want to do some of the things that I enjoy, or some of those hobbies that I enjoy, like gardening. I love gardening. So I've had a chance to spend some time in the garden, transplant some plants, and that has brought me a lot of joy. Making sure I'm doing it when it's not too hot and when the mosquitoes are eating me is part of the challenge, but it's still something that I enjoy and I look forward to every year. So I made the time to do something that brings me joy, something that I can appreciate. You know, I put my little bit of effort in now, and as I see the flowers blooming all over, it creates a calm, peaceful place for me. So maybe you need to make time for reading. Okay, finding a good book, whether it's on your Kindle or like me, I like touching the binding, I like smelling the paper, I like really getting into the story that way. If that's how you need to connect to get that full-on feel of being immersed into the story, then do that. Maybe you're a person who enjoys crafting. Maybe you love to do DIY. Well, I got a chance to spend some time with friends this weekend. We went to Joann Fabrics and they had these super cute little birdhouses, and I decided I wanted to paint one. I wanted to have something that brought beauty to my home, or I might actually put it outside and maybe let some birds make it into a home. Maybe you are doing some DIY projects. That is something that I've been doing some too. And this is going to be the color of the bench that I'm putting in my garden. I'm going to do a nice project. It's been like outside for years and it is all falling apart. So I've got the new lumber. I'm going to stain it. I'm going to work on that bench, on the metal pieces, spray it with this beautiful color that makes it bright and cheerful. I'm going to give it new life because that is something that I love. I love renewing things, bringing fresh life to things that are old and forgotten and that nobody wants or nobody cares about. That is something that just drives my passion. That makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like I've really accomplished something. Maybe some of your DIY that you've been doing is making masks. A lot of people, there's a lot of DIY tutorials, and even people who aren't usual sewers, I've noticed, have picked it up and decided to make some masks so that they feel safe and comfortable when they go out. Or maybe you like to do sewing just for the heck of it or just for the fun of it. This is my cute little Girl Scout project that I worked on with my girls, and we learned about embroidery and sewing on buttons. Very fun fabric, which I also made my mask to match. Whatever it may be, whatever brings you joy. If your schedule is getting busy, if your schedule has been busy, it is important for balance, for focus, that you make time for yourself and for those interests, those things that reinvigorate you, help bring focus and clarity, help give life meaning. You can't just wake up and work and go to bed and wake up and work and go to bed. There's more to life than that. And maybe your work is something that brings you a lot of joy, like mine does. Finding those other interests and those different hobbies, those things that make you excited and something that gives you pleasure, make sure you are making time for that. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's bowling, maybe it's doing sports, maybe it's really hard right now that there are a lot of spring sports that are not playing right now. So my husband's been watching a lot of reruns and a lot of different things like that, finding ways to do it. There are ways to get invested in those things that you really enjoy doing. It may look a little different now, but make sure that you are making time for yourself, to replenish yourself doing those things you enjoy, whether they're projects, whether it's physical exercise, whether it's going on walks, going to the beach, going swimming, whatever it is, make time for you. If you bring others along for the journey, even better, within the social precautions of social distancing and etc. But the point is this: make time for yourself, for the things that you enjoy, that give you meaning and purpose to keep on going, because this is uncertain. Nobody knows what to expect. There's a lot of views and a lot of different opinions on what this opening looks like. So take a deep breath. Make sure that you are taking care of self. And that is the message I have for you this week. We're probably going to do a couple more of these as everything is opening up. You can still subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can look back on past weeks if you need to focus, whether it's just breathe, whether it is making time to laugh, whatever it is, whatever you need. These videos are here as your reference point, as another tool in your tool bag to help you to remain clear and focused, to help you take care of you during a very uncertain time or a trying time, because we have moments like this. It doesn't take a world pandemic to have a crisis or a trauma moment where we are just feeling way out of control. So that's what these videos are meant for. It's meant for you to use as a tool. And with that, I say thanks and see you next week. Bye-bye.